Welcome back to RPMBassy. This is all part of our top 20 our favourite albums. We're on number 16 now. If you haven't checked out any of the previous, go and check them out. Some nice records there. So I'm going to start with this one. This is our number 16 top 20 albums or vinyl albums, our favourites. So for me, my number 16, and again, there's a bit of a theme going on here. I didn't realise they was actually started doing this. It's another record from 2001, and it's also another record from the Electroclash era, and it's also another record from International DJ Gigolo Records. As you can see, I did like that label, but this is the last one from that label. And this is the first album from Miss Kitten and the Hacker. I remember I was DJing in Hamburg, and I went into a record shop, and I heard a track called Frank Sinatra, and it just blew my mind. And it took me forever to try and hunt the album down or hunt that record down. But I found it on 12, and this album got released in 2001. I did have a promo of this for a little while before this came out, and I hammered nearly every track on this album. Miss Kitten and the Hacker, obviously from France. For quite a while, we thought they were from Germany because she had really kind of like a very Germanic kind of sound to her vocals. It was fresh. The music was really kind of electronic, done for the dance clubs. You can hear the like analog synth, you can hear the drum machines, and I just loved that relentless kind of vocal and the beats with all of these tracks. The standout tracks people are going to know is going to be things like Frank Sinatra. My favourite track on this album is a track called Life on MTV, which sounded really kind of futuristic and really robotic and quite dark as well, so I really loved playing that track. Really nice to kind of play out. And then the other one on this, which I used to play a lot, in fact there's a couple more, Walk On By and You and Us. And You and Us is something that I've been listening to a lot lately. That track was way ahead of its time. If you don't know this band, check them out. And they've also just released their third album, which is just outstanding, and they released it a couple of months ago now. And it's so Miss Kitten and the Hacker, and it's gone back to this kind of style, which is great. I'm really glad that whole sound's coming back. Gigolo Records, Miss Kitten and the Hacker, check it out. Over to Mark.
So for my number 16, I've gone for probably so far the most well-known album of the list. So this is Hurry Up We're Dreaming by M83. I would say they're a French band, but at the point that this album was recorded, I think it was pretty much almost a super group in a way of lots of different musicians from tons of different projects that kind of came together. So initially a French band, but by this point, you've got members from America and things like that in it as well. This really is kind of their album that, they weren't exactly an unpopular band before, but this was the one that I think most people, if they had heard a track by M83, it would be from this album, particularly Midnight City. That's the one that everybody really, really knows. That's certainly one of their more poppy ones compared to their sort of older discography. But the whole album is excellent. And for a double album as well, or what kind of feels like a double album, absolutely mind-blowing. Like, normally double albums kind of bore me. I kind of find that it's a good excuse for a band to kind of, blow smoke up their own arse in a way and kind of pretend that they're better than they are.
And there's normally a lot of stuff on, especially double albums, is stuff that shouldn't have actually been out.
Yeah.
I normally find that as well.
But this whole album from start to finish, in terms of synth pop and electronic music and just well-produced music as a whole, this really, really does kind of get it. Midnight City, as I said, is a fantastic track. The intro itself is also an amazing track. They just have this wonderful way of like building up this kind of synthy soundscape and just getting more and more and more emotional, and they kind of just find a way to elevate stuff further than you think they can. And it's got a real kind of symphonic sound to it. Track 4 especially is a really, really nice touch on this, because you've sort of had 3 quite upbeat and triumphant songs. I think intro obviously builds up very slowly, but then gets really, really, really epic. And then you have Midnight City, which is super poppy. Reunion, which is also very poppy, but kind of guitar driven. Then track 4, Where the Boats Go, properly reels it back in. It's super, super somber, I would say. Pretty much entirely synth based. There's no drums on the entire track. It's pretty much just like a couple of synth layers, a couple of vocal layers, no actual vocals to speak of really. It's just noises. It's a voice as an instrument more than as like a lyrical tool. But yeah, it's super chilled out.
I'm loving the cover because that is definitely an IKEA unit.
Yeah.
Exactly the same as what we got here.
The really nice thing actually, last year was the 10th year anniversary of this album, and they actually redid the cover, did a new pressing, redid the cover, got the same kids from this one to do the pose again as they are now, which is just like a really, really nice touch.
That's
I thought
cool.
so. I do want to pick that one up at some point, but yeah, any pressing, it's a really, really well mastered and well pressed album for vinyl. So definitely do try and get hold of it. It's not a difficult find, but it's just a great listen.
That's inspired me. I love the fact that they've re-released it as an anniversary. It's something like we did with our vinyl. I didn't want to change the original sleeve, so we got someone to hand draw the original sleeve, and I kind of like that. We put a lot of thought into that because a lot of these represses coming out now, they're repressing a lot of the old vinyl, but you can see it's just a scan.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you do something different or do something similar or use the same but do something a bit quirky with it so people feel like they're getting something different. But I like that idea. That's kind of inspired me. So that was our number 16. So join us for the next one, which is going to be our number 15. There you go. Nearly lost that there. Number 15. Join us on the next video. RPMBassy. If you haven't seen the previous, check out the previous. You get an idea where our musical taste is going. At the moment, Marc's is consistent. Mine is all over the place. But check out the next one. See you on the next video.